2019 Trax is offered in LS, LT, and Premier trim dimensions. A 1.4-liter turbo 4 sets to a 6-speed programmed. Front-wheel drive is standard and all-wheel drive is discretionary, yet the Trax is certainly not an Earth Street champion. Regardless of its little motor and agile control weight, the Trax isn't as parsimonious as you may anticipate. All-wheel drive variants gain only 30 miles per gallon on the interstate as indicated by the EPA. Somewhat little measurements mean the Trax exceeds expectations at urban driving, however its short wheelbase and spinding suspension make it anxious on a stunning street or a wide-open thruway. The Trax gives a decent view out to drivers and more payload utility than subcompact vehicles. Its back seat is a tight fit for grown-ups and its inside is wearing low-buck plastics. The related Buick Encore is swankier inside and all the more dominant, however similarly as confined. The Trax would be an additionally engaging vehicle on the off chance that it had a portion of the security innovation presently made standard on a portion of its adversaries. Just the Trax Premier gets forward crash alerts, no Trax Hybrid gets programmed crisis braking. The 2019 Chevrolet Trax has all the style of a couple of Velcro shoes. It's practical, yet it plainly didn't originate from an Italian structure house. We've dialed a point back for its outside and view its plain inside as about standard for the class. It's a 4 out of 10. The 2019 Trax looks especially down-market in LS trim. The 16-inch steel wheels with hubcaps are returned to the wrong period. We wouldn't fret the unpainted guards and lower body trim on all Trax models give them a rough look, while sparing Chevy the expense of paint. What we don't care for are its tall, clumsy extents, particularly when seen from the back. Inside, the Trax highlights a 7.0-inch touchscreen for infotainment sitting over a group of 4 of catches and basic atmosphere controls. The Trax LT legitimizes its more expensive rate with sweet upholstery and matte silver trim, while the Premier hurls in some differentiating sewing on the dash. The 2019 Chevrolet Trax is deft, yet its modest roots and little motor keep it from conveying any driving rushes. We rate it a 3 out of 10, touching base at that number by subtracting a point for its underpowered turbo 4 and another for a 6-speed program that conveys apathetic movements. Under its hood, the Trax highlights a 1.4-liter turbo 4 evaluated at 138 strength and 148 pound-feet of torque. Front-wheel drive is standard and all-wheel drive costs about $1,500 more. The Turbo 4 is languid around town, however satisfactory for driving between stoplights. It's at rural and roadway speeds where this littlest Chevy feels particularly winded. Indeed, even a generally wide torque bend doesn't help. Some blame lies with the Trax's 6-speed programmed, which conveys slurred upshifts and can be hesitant to descend a gear tooth or two. The Trax's controlling is quick and light, which functions admirably around town however adds to an anxious vibe at higher rates. Overflowing incline toward corners from the basic torsion bar raise pivot keeps the Trax from feeling remotely fun on an awe-inspiring street. Other little hybrids, for example, the Mazda CX-3 have demonstrated that a modest hybrid doesn't need to feel its cost. Front-wheel drive Trax hybrids utilize basic back drum brakes, yet 4-wheel plate brakes are incorporated with all-wheel drive. The 2019 Trax has firm front seats, yet just the driver's seat includes an overlay down-focus armrest. A 4-way manual driver's seat is standard gear, in spite of the fact that a 6-way control movable seat is discretionary. The material upholstery on Trax LS hybrids feels shabby, the trim utilized on LTs is more pleasant. Trax Premiers highlight manufactured cowhide upholstery,